What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DX Gamer Show. My name is Mike, aka Operation DX, and welcome to the 7th episode of PlanetBase. October 15th, 2015, here we are. Where did the year go? Holy cow. Anyways, we are a day before launch of this game, so I'm kind of deeming this episode to be the pre-launch special episode. What does that mean? Well, nothing really. We're just kind of continuing the Let's Play, but I am going to run this episode a little longer, so that comment on the previous episode, RIP long episodes, you can just kind of wipe that one clean, because we're actually going to run for about a half an hour. Now, I know I'm not going to pretty much at this point cover every teeny tiny little detail there is to offer in PlanetBase, but if you just so happen to catch PlanetBase on my particular channel and you are considering picking this game up on the 16th, then there's still quite a bit of content left in this game for you to explore, even if you've watched thoroughly this Let's Play series. And I know how I go into pretty deep detail about, aspects of the game. That's pretty much how I operate. That's my thing, I guess. Especially doing those look videos and stuff and first impression videos, I really try to nail down those details. And I know that in the earlier episodes, I really did discuss some future stuff, but I didn't get into too much depth about that because I kind of wanted to discover it as we were playing the game here. So there's still, a bunch of stuff for us to do. And it doesn't mean that, when this game launches on the 16th that I am pretty much going to wrap this series, because that's not going to happen. We have quite a bit to go on this series, and I pretty much hold to what I was saying in my look video. I think this game is fantastic. It's a lot of fun to play, it's relaxing, and I definitely really enjoy it. Anyways, let's kind of discuss what we have going on here in the game. Alright, so I did build some additional plants in my bio lab. Alright. Hey, this may be my biologist arriving. If you recall, during the previous episode, I set the landing pad to give me some biologists. Perfect. 2 drop off. That is just what I wanted. I think that gives me a total of 6 biologists, although I keep screwing up my numbers, so I'm not 100% sure. But what I want to do next is I want to get those medics. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and throw down the medics. Hopefully I'll get 2. That'll give me, I think, 3. And that would be just perfect. I don't think I'll need more than that. Now, I am making some additions to my base, and we have run into a couple of power problems here and there. Well, just one. Just one. Pretty much because the wind turbine wasn't operating at peak efficiency. But this particular night in the game, it is running almost 100%. So that is really going to help out and allow the, power collector to just maintain its power levels. Okay, see? There we go. That's what I was talking about. So we have an orange symbol above there. It looks like a little fork. Essentially, this means that this particular colonist has not eaten a good enough variety of foods, most likely the foods that come out of the lab, which are probably synthetic proteins of some kind. We actually have the lab turned off right now, and we have to build a couple of these. I don't even know what they are. Now, I'm kind of rewinding back, and I was thinking that they put the bioplastic inside of those machines, but actually they just require the bioplastic to make the machine, and then the machine just generates the synthetic meat. and you get to choose between 3 different types of meat. You can do like synthetic chicken, synthetic beef, or synthetic pork. And I always pick like synthetic beef and pork. I think as long as there's a couple different types, you're good to go. Now, as long as all these things don't kind of like gel into one big mess of stuff all happening at once, like say I run out of spares and I have... That's not a graphics glitch. That looked like a graphics glitch, but it's actually the wind turbine spinning there. Alright, finally, we are getting around to building a additional power collector. And actually, in the comments on the previous episode, someone had mentioned that they didn't think that the wind turbine and the large solar panel was generating enough to fill up an additional power collector, but I disagree. I think we'll need an additional large solar panel to do 3, but I think 2 will be good to go. We have made one addition which draws 3 power, which is another water extractor, and that was for the biolab because I built a whole bunch of more plants. Well, they haven't been built yet, but they're on deck, and it's nice to have that, you know, extra water coming in. And if you notice, as I click on them, they're not getting full capacity, so the water kind of fluctuates throughout the day, you know, sort of like the wind turbine. I don't know exactly how it works, and there isn't anything like in, say, SimCity, where you can see like, oh hey, this is a good spot to set down like a water thing. You have no idea. You just kind of set them down and hope for the best. Now, kind of like the power collectors, there is a water tank that you can build to help kind of, you know, create this safety net that I like to do with everything. So I always like to create a safety net with the food, I like to create a safety net with the power, and the same thing with the water. So at some point I probably will build that water tower in order to just kind of have that little bit of a backup, and then I can see when my water is diminishing and I can do something about it. Alright, so just double checking on the, again, the most important facilities we have pretty much in our place right now, besides food of course, is the mine and the processing facility. Those things are working pretty much around the clock. Alright, give me 2 medics! 2 medics! Yes! Alright, we're doing fantastic. Alright, so we have 16 people in our colony. We're just going to double check here, make sure that's what we got. So we got 4 biologists, we got 3 medics, we got 8 workers, we got 1 engineer. I think we're going to get a few more workers in here just to make sure everything keeps running nice and smooth. I think it's important because it doesn't look like everything is constantly quite running yet. Alright, so this makes me think of a comment that I got on the previous video again, and I always like to go back to the comments. Change my mind, want some engineers. That's what I meant to do. I actually didn't mean to go for the workers. I actually meant to go for the engineers, because you know why? We are going to build a factory. So we're gonna get those engineers working because they need to get to work. Alright, so let me go back because I'm King Sidetrack. I am King Sidetrack. Alright, so comment. There was a comment talking about, is there a, you know, bad thing to expanding your base quickly? No, but it's difficult to expand your base quickly because you saw in the beginning of this series, if you've been watching through the whole series, you know, you get the colony ship that lands down, you have a limited amount of resources, and from this point you are generating all of your own resources. I feel like I'm going at a decent pace, but I mean, you might be able to do it a little faster. I mean, maybe if you push the processing facility closer to where the mine is, and you just have those two just, going back and forth and jamming that stuff out, maybe you can get things going fast. I would say the only thing you got to pay attention to is, expanding too quickly, right? Because you can get yourself into a little bit of trouble, as I've expressed. For example, our oxygen generator can only support 30 people, so we'll need to build another one of those. And as long as you stay on top of all the different separate systems, building rapidly shouldn't be a problem if you can achieve it somehow. Also, we haven't really seen any of the techs too. Some of the techs give you advantages, of course. Especially those miner robots. You get those miner robots in that mine, man, they start cranking out the ore. And then your workers, all they have to do is focus on using the machines. And if you have enough to fill up these machines, you can actually build additional machines and get more workers in there. And you'll just be cranking the steel out, cranking out the bioplastic, and you can really get your colony going. Now, personally, what I like to do is, you see how I've built some smaller areas, like my dormitory is a little smaller, and my cargo facility is, I think it's a medium one. Actually, I think there's a tech to actually unlock larger facilities as well. So I like to kind of start to rearrange things a little bit later on and make things a little more comfortable. Now, there's also a building that I haven't built as well, or module, that really helps with your colony. And that is, it's not the dormitory, I can't think of the name of it. The module that everybody gets their own personal bed. It's like a personal housing, right? And each colonist is assigned their own bed, so when they get to go in that area, they actually increase their happiness. On top of, just having their own area to sleep and their own personal space, which makes them happy. So you don't have to rely on building recreational facilities, which we haven't seen yet. That's another thing that you can build, is a rec center. You can also build a bar. That's another thing that really helps with happiness. And then, of course, in the canteen we have the TV. But the TV, a single TV, is just simply not enough. And our canteen is, I think it's a medium canteen. It's not a large canteen. But you know why we are stuck with these things. I mean, this is what we could build. We were really pushing it in the beginning of this series. We're really pushing the line to where we almost didn't make it as far as self-sufficiency. And it's important to get that. But we were able to do it. No problem. All right, so we got ourselves one additional engineer. So that gives us 2 engineers, which is fine and dandy. So we got 2 people that are going to pretty much do not much until the factory gets built. Once the factory gets built, we'll get those spares going. And that is something that I have been paying attention to in the upper right-hand corner. If you've noticed during the last 2 episodes, guys, I've been totally pushing that button up in the top corner to see how many spares I got, and that's exactly why I'm pushing that. All right, so awesome. I have enough metal to actually build the second. Forgetting the name. I always want to call them generators for some reason. Power collector, the second power collector. So we will get to see who is right. All right, so is the commenter going to be correct from the previous episode, saying that the large wind turbine and the large solar array isn't enough to fill both of those, or will they be enough? We'll see when morning comes. All right, so we are getting some of our plants built. I intentionally built more plants that are starchy. I did that, of course, to get our bioplastic production rolling out so we can get that moving along nice and fast. I also built an additional medicinal plant so we can build more med kits because we have some more workers on board. And I think we're getting kind of low on med kits too. That's another thing that I'm clicking in the upper right corner to check to see how many med kits we actually have in here, because it's hard to tell because the medicinal plants actually look just like the med kits. They're white except for they don't have a cross on the top of them. So yeah, it's tough to tell. All right, it's factory time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we're gonna build the smaller factory because it'll take too long to build some of these larger ones, and we only need a smaller size factory. So the factory is going to allow us to build spares. It's going to allow us to build capacitors, which we don't even know what those are used for yet. I know what they're used for, but we haven't talked about it. And it allows the engineers to make guns. What? Did I just say guns? Yeah, I said guns. What do we need guns for? Actually, this kind of reminds me of a comment that I got earlier on, I think during the 5th or 4th episode, asking what the security guards are for, because we currently don't have any. But you probably noticed the tooltip as I hovered it over. And what? We're having a power problem again for the second night in a row. Actually, is this second night in a row? Yeah, we're having a power problem again. Look at that wind, man. Jeez. We even built a second power generator collector. Come on, man. Let's see. It's got 4,000 in it. We're pretty close to the daytime, but I have a feeling that we just might potentially shut down. Sidetracked again. Yeah, I definitely did that. All right, so guns, right. At some point, we need security in our colony because some bad folk come down inside of the spacecraft, and they, come down in the guise of, hey, they're gonna work on our facility. But you can tell, like, they look like they're about to cause some bad trouble. Yes, I know my power is critical. So, you got to get security, and then a security guard carries around guns, and they keep your place nice and safe against these people. Now, I don't think this can happen early on, but, at any time one of these craft come down, it could potentially happen. Nice. All right, so we got 2 more engineers. That gives us a total of, 4 engineers? That's good. That's pretty much enough to operate everything that we need, I think. So pretty much all we're going to be doing in the factory at first is just making spares. That's the plan. We're not going to need guns for a little while. And then, of course, capacitors. If you couldn't figure it out, capacitors. Wow. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we did shut down. We shut down. I didn't think we would. We were just kind of on the cusp there, but it's essentially how it was before. But yeah, capacitors are used for a couple of different things, for some more advanced things, which I won't get into. But one of the things that's obvious is the robots. The bots need some capacitors. At first, like I had mentioned earlier, we can only build the carrier bot. We have to actually buy the blueprint from a trader to get the higher level bots, so the miner bot and the engineer bot. If we happen to lose our engineer bot, I'm gonna want to replace that thing immediately. 8 workers, 4 biologists, 4 engineers, 3 medics, and no security people. Yeah, we have 19 colonists, 2 bots. Not too bad, not too bad. You may see me from time to time actually shut down the landing pad, because there is a point where I just don't want to have more colonists coming in. I want to just kind of see how things are going to flow, what the levels are going to be, especially for food and power and all of that. All right, so we're just kind of watching this here. So we're, about a quarter through the day, and We are filling up the... I could be wrong. The commenter could be... They could be right, and I could be wrong, and I might have to build a additional solar array. Okay, so that's a worker, most likely, in the med bay. Injured from working in the mine. Fortunately, we haven't seen any solar flare activity. We have no warning system against that whatsoever. In an emergency, I'll try to shut the airlocks off, but for some reason they can still use them. It's not right. It's not right. It's like drain it of all oxygen so they can't use it. All right, so come on, guys, get that metal over there. See, this is exactly why I wanted to have airlocks in all directions so that it's easier to access these different areas quickly. Especially in the power area. Definitely important. They still kind of have to walk around to this back area. And I'm still totally like building my facility in a way that is going to make that one commenter completely unhappy because there's no hallways connecting it. In fact, I think I'm making it worse. So just think, if that cantina gets hit, it cuts off just so many areas of my base. It's terrible. It's terrible. All right, come on, man, fill up. All right, so we're almost halfway, but it's not even filling up like the normal one during the day here. I think maybe we get some more wind during the day or something. I don't know. That wind turbine just it's not doing much for us right now. It's no good. No good. All right. What do we need left for this Factorio? We got bioplastic down. We got... Okay. I thought that was a solar flare warning. I was like, no, don't do it to me yet. No, it's... Actually, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. All right, so this kind of makes the solar panel not work as well, but it makes the wind turbine crank it up, baby. Yeah. But unfortunately, you know what? We're almost towards the end of the day, and we're not going to fill up that power collector. I guess the commenter wins the whole power collector thing. Darn it. I figured I had enough, but I did make some additions to the base, you know, so I don't know if we can count that. But it was also mentioned in the comments that each additional colonist that come in will draw some additional power and all of that. So there's my excuse. There's my excuse. So we actually look like we're off in a much worse situation than we were in the previous night and that one night that everything shut down. So we are probably either going to have to get retroactive and start shutting modules down during the nighttime, or we're just going to let everything just go by the wayside and everything will just kind of shut down. I'm just going to have to get retroactive here and start shutting stuff down. So I shut the mine down. The mine draws 4.5 power. The cargo facility doesn't draw that much. The landing pad draws a lot of power. What to shut down? I can't really shut down the water generator. I can shut this airlock off. They may need to do repairs on the wind turbine and the solar array, but I can't remember the last time that happened. It happened recently. Yeah, I'm considering turning this off, but I don't think I could do it. Yep, exactly. Biodome is out of water. Building those additional plants, it requires a lot of water. All right, so you saw all the red water symbols go above that. We can't do that. All right, so we did the mine. We can probably do another airlock, though. Let's go ahead and... yeah, since we're not going to the mine, we can go ahead and shut the airlock off. And, of course, 10 things start happening at once. Who's coming down? I forget. Who's coming down? I forgot who I changed it to. Let's... oh, workers. Oh, 3 more workers. Holy cow. All right, so we have 22 total colonists in our facility. I'm just double checking here. Who's gonna come in next? I think we need to turn the pad off and just get a handle on what's going on here. So we have what, 8, 9, 10, it's 11 workers. That is that's sufficient. That should be good. Yeah, that should be good. All right, we're gonna turn this thing off. We need to turn it off anyways. Okay, 4. I thought it was driving 4, but we're actually pulling 5 power with that guy. All right, so we got a good amount of wind for the night right now, and the power collector is losing power at a kind of slow rate. All right, so I was kind of worried that guy with the Z above his head was actually injured, but he's not. We can shut down the medical bay. That'll save us some power. And I don't know if I should shut down the factory immediately after. It draws, you can see it draws 3 power once it gets connected. I think I'm just going to leave the factory up and running. I'm going to go ahead and build the spare workbench and let that go ahead and possibly get built. That would be a good thing, because we're really close. We're really close on spares. We've only got a couple. Wow, that was close. I've gotten really lucky, you guys. I've really gotten lucky as far as these strikes. Usually I've gotten hit by now and someone has died. But we're in good shape now. Like, if someone dies, they're replaceable, except for the bot. Because, man, if my welder bot gets smoked, I'm just not going to be happy. Alright, so we're drawn at a decent rate. So I think we're going to be okay for the night. I think I shut everything down that is really needing to be shut down. Yeah? I could shut down the biolab. No. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I think we're good. I think we're good to go. The processing facility draws a lot of power with all these factories in it. So each one of those draw 1, and then the building itself, I think, draws 3. So that's probably drawing almost the most power. We can shut this one off. We can shut this one off too. No one's going to the factory or the mine. And no one's coming in. No one should be like having to leave or anything like that. So let's see. Oh, we're gaining power. We're good. We're good to go, baby. Oh yeah. All right, so we've cleaned up the biolab. The plants are back in like full operating order, and looks like we're producing food again. It's not all just sitting there and all that bad quality food. That's just not good. Okay, so here's another thing that is kind of important to do, just to kind of keep a handle on all of your resources, because they could keep going to one spot and you don't want that to happen. So we can control how many of these different objects get built. So for example, semiconductors, we really only need 5. Guns, we only need 5. Bots, 5. Spares, probably 15. We got a 10 for now. And medkits, probably 15. I might change that, but that's good for right now. Because what's going to happen is the building resources that are being built in the processing facility are going to be going to those places now, and it's going to slow production down even more, which, you know, if you want to make additions, it can be bad. The next thing I want to kind of focus on is building a defensive system that is going to keep the colony from getting hit by meteors. So that requires quite a bit. We need to get a control facility up. We need to get some observatories. Each observatory gives you a percentage. So, for example, if I build one observatory, I'll get like a 60% chance that I'll detect incoming, strikes, and a 60% chance that I'll detect incoming sandstorms or solar flares, that kind of thing. So if I have 2 observatories, then I need to build a second desk that can be manned by a engineer. And if they're both manned, then I get like an 84% chance that these things will occur. Now, in order to actually take out the inbound meteor strikes or comet strikes, I need to have this like beefy laser thing. It's pretty awesome. But we are still kind of a ways off from that happening. Did want to prioritize that to high. No, I do not. Alright, so kind of turning everything back on. And we got good wind and solar. And since we were able to really conserve power throughout the entire night, we actually might start filling up the secondary power collector, which is a good thing. And that gives me enough time to go ahead and set down another large solar array. Now, this is probably going to take a couple of days to build because we have a lot of things kind of going. We have resources going in different directions now. And wow, it's already been a half an hour. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.